everyone, I'm Captain Logan and welcome back to Commercials in Comics, the show where I give companies free advertising for intruding upon the stories of comics we read years ago. Today's ads come from Justice League Task Force number 4, published by DC Comics in 1993. Man, Martian Manhunter has sure been rearing his bald green head in a lot of Geekvolution videos lately, but we're not going to be reviewing the story, we're just going to take a look at the ads. So, let's get right to our task, shall we? This was right in the middle of the Nightfall story arc, and as Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman was wrapping up. Roger Stern's novelization of that story, The Death and Life of Superman, is advertised on the back, and that's an ad I remember fondly and vividly, as I was completely fascinated by that story through the couple of issues I got my hands on while it was going on. I had the softcover edition of that novel and read it cover to cover multiple times. I finally replaced it with the hardcover version that's pictured here after that first copy took such a beating it looked like it had gone a few rounds with Doomsday himself. I remember being ecstatic that my dad was letting me read the thick, complete adult version. Because, see, this ad calls it the complete story, and I knew that young adult version was probably abridged and super watered down. How do you censor something like a man getting ripped apart in prose? Superman and Doomsday each threw a punch. They both fell down. Lois held Superman in her arms. He had passed away. This was the edgy heyday of the 90s, man. If there was a kid's version, the adult book must have been intense, and I wanted to read every gruesome detail. It's been a while, but last time I read Stern's novel, it seemed a little sappy and overwritten, and the Doomsday fight had a great deal more impact in those ultra-dramatic full-page spreads in Superman 75. But I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll give it a go again and do my umpteenth Death of Superman review. I'm actually really curious about that younger reader version advertised in tiny print at the bottom. That's also, by the way, a lot of what really made me hope I'd be allowed to read the one with the bloody Superman symbol on the front. It was like the kids' version must have been so lame it was in fine print like hidden fees or side effects. Turns out that book was written by Louise Simonson, wife of Walt Simonson, and she was one of the architects of that comic story and writer on Man of Steel. I really like a lot of her writing. The most recent thing I've read of hers was Super Secret Crisis War, the Cartoon Network series crossover for IDW. Okay, the junior novel claims it's the complete story too, but I wasn't going to read that minuscule print with that oh-so-enticing half-bloody Superman symbol right in the center of the page when I was a kid. Man, just looking at this ad again is so nostalgic, I'm tempted to go back to the book and reread it again right now. But I just know it's not going to be as good as it was when I was 9. Stay 9, kids! And here's an ad for Spree. I remember seeing a lot more candy ads when I was a kid, but I think advertisers were gearing these more toward teenagers than they do these days. They've gotten wise and discovered just how many adults are buying comics now. Not that adults don't eat candy. And then again, there was that recent Twix ad that had artists drawing around it on the page and became so infamous Deadpool made fun of it on a variant cover. Spreek in fined for Spree, registered trademark. Spreek? Sounds like the sound Wolverine's claws would make if they malfunctioned and didn't pop out properly. Usually it's snicked. When it doesn't work right, it's spreek. I can only imagine the storyline of the Wolverine miniseries called Spreek. I can't believe nobody's used that as a metaphor for impotence. Thought interactive ads were just on Hulu? Think again. Ads like this tried to trick us into ruining the value of our comics by writing on them like they were the back of a cereal box. And besides, this comic isn't worth anything. Apparently I spent 50 cents on it at the half-price bookstore. I have no idea why I own this. I'd love to know if anyone has ever done this word search. Obviously, it's trying to get me to go on a word spree in this totally unfun puzzle, so I'll stare at those 4 letters so long and surrounded by that array of multicolored candy that I'll subconsciously be thinking about spree the rest of the day. Just find and circle the word spree 10 times in the puzzle below. Then look for it at the store. I love how that's part of the instructions, like you're not playing the game right if you don't do that second part. I guess I'll be the patsy and probably be the only person that's ever done this word search. Yep, let's find out if I can find all 10 sprees and see how long that takes. And see if I crave spree when I'm finished with this. I can't even tell you the last time I had a spree. I don't even know if I like spree. But nevertheless, I'm gonna do this thing. And yes, I photocopied it because I don't want to ruin my 50-cent comic. And I don't care that it's under a license of trademark owners. Yeah, take that, Nestle. Yeah, I'm a rebel. I photocopied your ad. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? I'm living dangerously. When I'm finished with this, I'm going to go cut off all the tags on my pillows. Are you allowed to go diagonal? Okay, I'm done. I got 7. I got 7 out of 10. I can't look at this anymore. It's like there's only 4 letters left of the alphabet. But it's pretty good advertising. I am sort of having a sweet tooth right now. Guess what's back? Lobos Back's back. The trade paperback. Oh man, that's super clever. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that gag. Someone's back, and then they've got their back turned, and they're smiling like it's the cleverest pun in the world. See, because the apostrophe makes it a double entendre. The Tick did that too. Hey, Lobo, you're not going to be able to fly with those tiny wings, Lobo Cherub. I'm just imagining Spawn getting Redeemer wings, but he's only just sort of kind of redeemed, so he gets these piddly, useless, embarrassing wings he wants to cover up with a poncho. You know, if this trade came back in print, there could be another ad that says, guess what's back? Lobos Back, the trade paperback's back. Suggested for mature bastiches. That strikes me as an oxymoron. Seems to be like anybody that you would classify as a bastich would immediately be immature. I can't see anyone of any sort of maturity or class drinking something called gut rot. Let's enough with a current ad, shall we? Here's a Toyota ad that appeared in Justice League The Dark Side War Flash #1 this week. I don't understand this sort of random non sequitur kind of advertising. It says play now, so I get there's people goofing off, but you got all these trucks off-roading alongside dirt bikes, and one of the bikes is being ridden by the Easter Bunny wearing a bandana around his neck, and then there's a guy lounging on a couch being pulled by a bike. Don't worry, parents, it looks dangerous, but he's still setting a good example. He's wearing a helmet. It's kind of eye-catching, I guess, because it's so weird, but how does that make me want to think about buying a truck? Why isn't anyone in one of the trucks having as much fun as the goofball weirdos on the bikes? And I guess the whole play now slogan is because it's Toy-Oda? Ah, well, at least these are some directions I want to follow. I'm going to go play now. And then I guess I'm going to go to the grocery store and buy some Spree. I'm Captain Logan, and happy reading.